India replied immediately that we would not let this go unanswered. I don't work for the government. As you know, I work for an opposition party, but I myself authored an op-ed in one of India's leading papers, the Indian Express, within a couple of days, saying the time had come to hit hard but hit smart. And I'm pleased to say that's exactly what India did. India sent a clear message, number one, that it was not going to take terror lying down, it would answer, but equally that by delivering very precisely calculated, calibrated strikes on very specific targets, it was also sending a message that this was not meant to be the opening salvo in a protracted war, but just an act of retribution, that we were prepared to stop with that act. In other words, not just in other words, it was officially conveyed. There is a regular hotline between the two Directors General of Military Operations. The message was conveyed that this was the intent, that it was pointed out that no military targets, no civilian targets, and no governmental targets had been hit, not even by accident, and that the message therefore had been delivered exactly and precisely to the terrorists and their handlers.
This issue will not go away. And India has exercised utmost restraint in dealing with this problem. I don't want to reiterate what the head of my delegation, my honorable good friend Jay Panda, has said. But please understand that India has exercised utmost restraint. You know, even after the Pahalgam attack which took place, in which 26 tourists have lost their lives. And please, understand the enormity of this massacre which took place. A girl which got married 6 days ago, on the 7th day she becomes a widow. A girl which got married 2 months ago, she becomes a widow. India has all the wherewithal, and inshallah we have all the means to ensure the safety of not only the Indians, but anyone who lives in India. Because if you see on the 9th or 10th of May, when Pakistan unleashed whatever it had, no amount of damage happened in the mainland India. Yes, in the Poonch area, we know what has happened. But the air defense system, what has been said by the government in the media is that all our technology, all our warfare was able to stop whatever was thrown from a failed state like Pakistan. You're absolutely right, a bomb blast took place in Rameshwaram. Those culprits have been caught. And let me also remind you that the 26/11 incident which took place in Mumbai, Ajmal Kasab was caught. Ajmal Kasab was given all the due process of the law, wherein Ajmal Kasab went through all the legal process of our country, and ultimately the court gave him the punishment. Even after that, the Indian investigators gave all the evidences which was required to the Pakistani government. They had given proofs, audio recordings, and can you believe at that time when this 26/11 incident took place, the Pakistan foreign minister was in India. So this is a state which is not at all connected. It is not at all concerned about the safety and what the message that goes out. But unfortunately, because of Pakistan's intransigence, that trial didn't go further up. But when Bahrain was heading the FATF committee and Pakistan was put in the grey list, that trial proceeded. And after that, Pakistan came out of grey list, and unfortunately those people were convicted only in money laundering, not in terrorist charges. And there was a UN designated terrorist called Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi. I don't know where in the world the prison system is such that Mr. Zakiur Rahman is a designated terrorist, and by being in prison, his wife gives birth to a child. Now this is what Pakistan's legal system or the support of the state is concerned. So I can only assure you, with all the responsibility, that our government has taken all the steps to protect the life and limb of every Indian, and this government has made very clear. Next time you take up this misadventure, it will be beyond what they are expecting. See, we don't want to reply in that way, but there is a limit to the patience of the Indians. You cannot go on and come into India and kill people. You cannot place bombs. The first terrorist suicide bomb took place in front of Jammu Kashmir Assembly. And you had Uri, Pulwama, and last year in July, terrorists had went and shot these Hindu pilgrims who were going in that particular bus. 7 people were killed. So now I think there is unanimity in our country, irrespective of whatever political affiliations we belong to. Yes, we have political differences, but when it comes to the integrity of our country, it is high time that the neighboring country understands. And I would hope and request that the Bahraini government would help us in bringing back Pakistan grey list of FATF. Because this money has been used to support those terrorists. I'm telling you something, fact about the fact. I think it was yesterday, the Pakistani army chief had gifted a photo to the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. President of Pakistan was there, the Speaker of National Assembly was there. And these stupid jokers, they want to compete with India. They had given a photograph of a 2019 Chinese army drill, claiming it's a victory over India. Now this is what Pakistan indulges in.
You all might know me, but I'm a vocal member of the opposition. A very vocal member of the opposition, yes. And I hold my government to account to ensure that the thriving democracy that I come from continues to ask questions and holds its government to account. But today I come, while being a member of the opposition, I come to express my solidarity with the 1.4 billion people back home who were equally outraged, equally angered, and probably if my voice also sounds angry because I continue to carry that anger with me. I come from the state of Maharashtra. I come from Mumbai. Mumbai saw the worst terror attack. Over 160 people dead. Not all Indians. Some from the US, some from Europe. And where is this terrorism emanating from? I don't even need to tell you all that. I'm sure people of France won't need to tell us that. People from US won't be able to tell you that. I mean, they would not need to explain explicitly that it's coming from Pakistan because all the roots of terrorism emanate from Pakistan. Terrorism has become an economic industry for Pakistan to hold the world to account. To put a blackmail, a threat on the peace across the world, not just across our region. So we come to express not just our anger, but our resolute belief that what has begun as Operation Sindoor is not just a conventional fight back. It will have a fight back in all its form, in all its possibilities, and in all the spaces possible for India to tell the world and to especially tell Pakistan that we will hold you to account for every single life that an Indian loses because of your terrorism.
This delegation is led by our honorable colleague, Mrs. Supriya Sule, who is the floor leader of one of the opposition parties in Parliament. I represent the principal opposition party in Parliament. My colleague here, Mr. Vikramjit Singh Sani, is also from another opposition party. Both our colleagues, or three of our colleagues, Mr. Anurag Thakur, Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy and our former Minister for External Affairs, Mr. Muralidharan, are from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the ruling party. And our friend Mr. Lavu Sri Krishna is the floor leader of the Telugu Desam Party, which is supporting the government. So therefore, the manner in which this delegation has been structured and the way it has been constituted is to convey our national resolve that if terrorism keeps getting perpetrated against India from across the border, if Pakistan continues to use terrorism as an instrument of state policy, if you have a state on our western border where there is no distinction between the state and the semi-state actors that it spawns, then under those circumstances, it is our national resolve that under no circumstances would that be tolerable. India then reserves the right to energize the full spectrum of options that are available to it in order to protect and defend itself, its national interest.
You wanted to know about the national language. I think the national language of India is unity in diversity. And that is the message this delegation brings to the world. And I think that is the most important thing today. And let us continue with that.
हमारा एक ही मकसद है, हम अलग पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के हो सकते हैं. यहाँ पे मैं अपोजिशन पार्टी का हूँ, जॉन ब्रिटॉस है, वो अपोजिशन पार्टी के हैं, सलमान खुर्शीद जी जो बहुत सीनियर पार्लियामेंटेरियन रह चुके हैं, फॉर्मर एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर है, वो अपोजिशन के पार्टी के हैं. लेकिन जब देश की बात हो, हम सब एक है, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. और हम इसलिए यहाँ पे आए हैं. ये जो पिक्चर्स हम लोग दिखाए हैं आपको, आप सबने अब तक इसको सोशल मीडिया में देख चुके हैं. और इस बार हम लोग तैयारी के साथ आए हैं, सबूत लेके आए हैं. हर बार जाते थे तो लोग पूछते थे कि देयर आर नॉट इनफ एविडेंस इन पब्लिक डोमेन टू जस्टिफाई क्लेम्स. तो इस बार तो हम लोग पक्की सबूत लेके आए हैं that India refuses to bow down. We will not yield to fear. We have learned to give you the reply in the language you understand. I belong from a political party who is in the opposition. It's in public domain. You all have seen that I have said that Pakistan needs to be taught a lesson in the language they understand. If terrorism is a rabid dog, Pakistan is a wild handler. So we first need to bring the world collectively to combat this wild handler. Otherwise, this wild handler will end up breeding and raising more rabid dogs.
I have to say that we were a little disappointed in the reaction of the Colombian government, which apparently expressed heartfelt condolences on the loss of lives in Pakistan after the Indian strikes, rather than sympathizing with the victims of terrorism. We will say to our friends in Colombia, there can be no equivalence between those who dispatch terrorists and those who resist them. There can be no equivalence between those who attack and those who defend. We are only exercising our right of self-defense, and if there is any misunderstanding here on this score, we are here to dispel any such misunderstanding.